For the first time in years, the housing market is quietly sending a message most people haven't fully absorbed yet. The balance of power is shifting, not crashing, not booming, shifting. And that shift is moving toward buyers. Nearly two-thirds of home buyers last year purchased at a discount to the original listing price. That's the highest proportion since 2019. The average discount for homes that sold below list price was around 8%, the largest since 2012. Sellers are offering concessions. Buyers are negotiating closing costs. Rate buydowns are back. Inspection leverage is back. Patience is back. If you lived through 2020 to 2022, this feels foreign. Back then, buyers begged sellers. Today, sellers are recalibrating expectations. And investors who understand cycles know this is exactly how markets transition. Today, we're breaking down what's really happening in the housing market, why this is not a crash but a normalization, where buyers have the most leverage, where sellers still retain power, and how real estate investors should think about pricing, underwriting, and opportunity in a buyer-leaning environment. Let's start with the data. Because feelings don't matter, numbers do. About 62% of buyers last year paid below the original list price. That alone tells you something fundamental has changed. In the peak frenzy years, paying under list was rare. Today, it's normal. The average discount on those deals was around 8%, the biggest discount environment in more than a decade. On top of that, buyers are securing concessions, cash credits, closing cost assistance, mortgage rate buydowns. These are not headline price cuts, but they materially affect affordability and effective purchase price. This is not a seller's market behavior. Now let's talk about why this shift is happening. First, demand has cooled. High home prices combined with elevated mortgage rates sidelined a large portion of buyers. Even as rates have come down modestly from their peaks, affordability remains stretched. That reduced the pool of qualified buyers. Second, supply has quietly improved, not everywhere, but in many regions. New construction over the past several years has finally started to show up in inventory numbers, especially in southern markets. Florida, Texas, parts of the Southeast. More listings mean more choice. More choice means leverage. Third, expectations are misaligned. Many sellers are still anchored to 2021 pricing psychology. They remember neighbors selling in days with multiple offers. But buyers are anchored to monthly payments, not comps from 3 years ago. When expectations don't meet reality, prices adjust, or properties sit. Now let's walk through the first-degree effects. The obvious changes buyers and sellers are experiencing right now. First-degree effect number one is pricing flexibility. Homes priced correctly move. Homes priced aggressively sit. Days on market matters again. First-degree effect number two is negotiation power. Buyers are no longer waiving inspections as a default. Inspection contingencies are back. Price renegotiations after inspections are increasing. Deal cancellations are rising as buyers walk away from bad terms. First-degree effect number three is seller incentives. Instead of cutting list prices immediately, many sellers are offering concessions. This keeps headline prices stable while improving affordability for buyers. It's a face-saving mechanism, but it still shifts power. Now let's move into the second-degree effects, which are more important for investors. Second-degree effect number one is price discovery. When transactions slow, the marginal buyer sets the market. Sellers don't dictate prices. Buyers do. And when fewer buyers are willing or able to transact, prices soften at the edges. Not everywhere at once, not uniformly, but locally by property type and by condition. Second-degree effect number two is segmentation. Move-in-ready homes still attract demand. Renovation-heavy properties sit. Buyers are cautious about taking on projects when labor and material costs remain high. This creates discounts for properties that need work, but only for buyers who understand renovation risk. Second-degree effect number three is geographic divergence. Southern markets with heavy new construction are more buyer-friendly. Florida metros like West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami saw more than 85% of buyers pay below list. Texas markets show similar trends. Meanwhile, supply-constrained metros like parts of New Jersey and Northern California remain more competitive. Discounts exist, but they're smaller. This is not a national story, it's a regional one. Now let's move into the third-degree effects, where long-term opportunity and risk emerge. Third-degree effect number one is behavioral reset. The market is retraining participants. Sellers are learning that overpricing has consequences. Buyers are learning patience again. Agents are relearning how to negotiate instead of just processing offers. This reset is healthy. Third-degree effect number two is investor advantage. Investors thrive in markets where price discovery exists. When prices are rigid and euphoric, underwriting is difficult. When sellers are negotiable and inventory is available, disciplined investors gain edge. This environment rewards fundamentals: cash flow, condition, location, and replacement cost. It punishes speculation and thin margins. Third-degree effect number three is cycle transition. This is how markets move from seller-dominated to balanced, not through collapse, but through time, negotiation, and absorption. Volume recovers before prices surge. Confidence rebuilds slowly. The next cycle is shaped here. Now let's talk directly to buyers. If you are an end-user buyer who can qualify today, you are in one of the best negotiating environments in years. You may not get 2019 prices, but you are no longer competing with 10 offers. You can ask for concessions, you can walk away, you can wait. That optionality has value, but discipline matters. Buying just because you can negotiate doesn't mean you should overextend. Monthly payment still matters, equity still matters, location still matters. Now let's talk directly to real estate investors. This is not the time to chase appreciation narratives. It's the time to focus on basis. 8% discounts matter. Seller concessions matter. Rate buydowns matter. These improve cash flow and reduce risk. But underwriting must reflect reality. Do not assume easy rent increases. Do not assume sellers' pro formas are achievable. If raising rents were easy, the seller would have already done it. This is where investors separate from speculators. Investors should also expect more deal fallout. Inspections kill deals again. Financing contingencies matter again. That creates opportunity for prepared buyers who can close. Now let's talk about seller, because their behavior shapes the next phase. Sellers who adapt will transact. Sellers who cling to peak market expectations will sit. Over time, sitting listings become stale. Stale listings invite discounts. This feedback loop accelerates normalization. This doesn't mean sellers are doomed. It means realism is required. Now let's zoom out. Home sales remain near 30-year lows. That tells you participation is still constrained. But recent data shows momentum is slowly improving. Mortgage rates are lower than a year ago. Sales ticked up. Price growth slowed. This is how markets thaw, gradually. The biggest mistake people make in transitions like this is waiting for a perfect signal. By the time the headlines declare the market is back, leverage is gone again. The second biggest mistake is assuming every market behaves the same way. Real estate is local, always has been, so here's the real takeaway. The housing market is not collapsing, it is recalibrating. Buyers have leverage, but only if they use it intelligently. Sellers must adjust or wait. Investors must underwrite conservatively and move selectively. This environment rewards patience, discipline, and fundamentals. Not fear, not greed, not nostalgia for 2021. Markets don't swing overnight. They tilt, and right now, the tilt is toward buyers. Follow the finance shark for clear-eyed breakdowns of real estate cycles, negotiation strategy, and how to position capital when markets shift, not when they're already obvious.